Well, once again, back at the shop, D-Bomb's Garage, Dennis here. I've got two vehicles in the shop being worked on, but as of right now, I'm just waiting on parts. All the parts should be in for the Chevy Silverado 2500. I do an upper ball joint. Don't know how this one come out like that. Doing shocks. The steering dampener shock. You've seen the right side. This is the left side. Nice and flush. The other one's up about a ½ inch-ish. On the rear of this critter, the differential's got a rust hole in the cover, and being the area I'm in, the U-bolts are pretty well shot, so we're getting U-bolts for it. The Nissan Juke, I'm waiting on an alternator for it, so I want to get that. I think he's also going to replace the battery. The alternator is only putting out almost a little bit above 11 amps, and it should be about 14 and a half. So we're going to go with that. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for parts, I figured I would tinker on the 95 Jeep. I went through, dug out the motor mounts, put them on the block, put the flywheel on, and for right now what I'm going to attempt to do is at least set it back in, stab it back in the hole, and set the motor mounts in place, put the bolts in them, at least get it setting back down in the engine compartment. Then I can start trying to remember where everything goes-ish. Yeah, shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue, I hope. And as I'm hoping this motor is good. Taking a gamble on it due to the fact it come out of a rollover, or not a rollover, a tree fell on it. So I'm taking a gamble on it. Got to get my micrometer, mic the crank out on my motor. I'm gonna run a ball hone through it. I had my brother look at the block. He thinks it'll be all right. I just have to figure out how to clean up the pistons. I'll take the rings off. I'll order new rings for it. So I'm gonna get rod bearings, main bearings, piston rings. I even think I'm going to knock out the cam bearings and put new ones in. So then mine will be pretty much done. I think I've got a new timing chain and gear set from Chloe's. I think I have a Millings high volume pump, I think. There's one timing gear set. I don't know. I'll have to dig through my stuff, see what I got and what I don't have. I think I'll order a cam. Try to figure out what size cam to go with the 11-to-1 pistons and cylinder heads. Don't have much money. I might have a stock, well, not really stock. Well, they are stock, but they're undrilled. Everybody calls them 202 camel hump heads. I'd definitely have to check the clearance between the two valves. Generally, if it's a 202, you can barely fit your fingernail between the valves. If it's like a 194, then you have a lot more space. So that's an update on what's going on. Not a whole lot. Haven't worked on the 55 Buick yet again. Trying to get a few of my vehicles up and ready to sell. All right. Well, that's it for now. I'll cover, once I get the engine in, I'll show you the engine inside the compartment. So I'll be back in a little bit. Well, motor's set back in. Now it's just time to remember where all the brackets go and where their bolts are and where all the plugins go. Being this is a right-hand drive, a lot of the stuff is different, so I can't really look at a normal Jeep and figure it out, but I can figure out some of it from a normal Jeep, normal Cherokee. A few fittings I have to change. I got to change this one vacuum fitting here. I got the other intake over there. I broke a sensor back here. I think it's a temp sensor. I still got to get underneath and get the reluctor sensor in, get that plugged in, and it's just a matter of remembering and figuring out how everything goes back together. I do. When I got the Jeep, it had a new distributor on, so I'm gonna put that on. Coil is all right. It's just a matter of the tedious process of getting everything hooked back up, remembering where it goes, and going from there. So with that, that's an update on the Jeep. For now, I'm done. I'm hungry. Time to get something to eat. So now I'm out. Later all. Well, once again, welcome back to D-Bomb's Garage. Friday. Parts were dropped off for the Chevy 2500. Rear diff cover. Got the oil, front shocks, steering dampener, and one upper control arm ball joint. I've already started taking it apart, took the bracket off for the brake hose. I'm gonna undo the ABS sensor wire, so once I get it all loose and popped up, it'll move. Give me some slack in that. And once I get the upper ball joint done, then I'll do the shocks. I'll do the sway bar in length, or not in length, but steering dampener. I'll get all that done. Then I'll slide on over to the rear diff, take the cover off, drain it, take the cover off, drain it, and replace the cover, put the oil back in it. Then I'll just be waiting on the 4 U-bolts. Hopefully those come in and he gets them delivered to me. On the juke, the alternator should be here on Monday or Tuesday. I did slap the motor back into the 95 Jeep. Just a matter of remembering where everything goes. Once I get the Chevy off the rack, I'll push the Jeep over to the rack so it'll be, I can get it up in the air and get everything buttoned up underneath. Get everything buttoned up underneath. So with that, I'm going to kick you over to time lapse. I'm going to get this upper ball joint done, then the shocks, steering dampener, and then the rear diff. And where's my battery at? Battery's at 65, so I'll kick up a new battery. So with that, here we go. Saturday morning, D-Bomb's garage. It is just past 9:45 a.m. The Chevy 2500 is done and gone. I think what I'm going to do is try to get the Jeep over to the lift today. See if I can't get some of the bottom end done, torque converter bolts, bell housing bolts, the reluctor ring sensor plugged in, get everything plugged back in the bottom here, get the starter back up into place. But I got to move the juke out of the way. Again, still waiting on the alternator for it. Did a little bit of floor cleaning, and the shop is still a mess. So with that, I'm just going to kick you over to time lapse as I get this Jeep over to the lift. So here we go. Got it over to the rack. A little bit of a struggle, but I got it. I just got to get the arms up underneath it and get it going up in the air. Then I'll probably sweep up the floor over here. Get this all cleaned up. And I think the Jeep out there I got for spare parts will have the exhaust pipe, and probably the catalytic converter on it. So then that way I can get that all hooked up. So once again, I'm gonna kick you over to time lapse. Get this sucker up in the air and see what I'm playing with again. See if I can't remember where everything goes. This is the first time I've really been underneath the Jeep. I think the worst rust is right there. It's the only hole in there. At that floor, maybe. Other than that, I mean, she is extremely clean. Fuel tank looks fairly new. All the brake lines and fuel lines look good. She does look good underneath here. So, I will have to get cranking on this thing. I still haven't decided whether or not to do a lift kit under here. The only issue is going to be is getting the steering. I think it'll still work. I guess we'll find out. If I get it running and moving, stopping and going. So for now, I'm going to go in the house, get some hot coffee, and I'll be back. Well, another day. In a couple of days I didn't do anything on the Jeep. I made a lot of progress. The other day, it was a beautiful day and I forgot to turn the camera on. But it is what it is. Today's a nasty day. The motor's back in. All the accessories are hooked back up. I set the radiator in, hooked up my automatic fuel or trans lines. I gotta get the air tube going to the pressure regulator, the map sensor. I got to get that tube fixed right there, right there. I still got to put the clips on the injection wires, and I still have a few more bolts to tighten up underneath, and I'll put the front drive shaft back in. I'll put the rear drive shaft in as soon as I get a U-joint. I have a coolant sensor down there I got to replace. I figure I'll get that the same time I get the U-joint. But for now, I want to see if it turns over. I got oil in it, new filter. I want to see if it turns over. So I just got to locate a battery, one that hopefully fits in there. Hopefully everything's hooked up right. Hopefully. I don't think this battery's gonna allow it. Yeah, maybe it will. Kind of big though. Yeah. Where's my tripod? There it is. So after all this work, I never heard this motor run before. I'm gonna see if it turns over. See if it does anything. Maybe it'll blow up. If this battery will fit. See, that one worked. That one does not. Oh, so a biscuit eater. Do I have another battery? There we go. That feels a little better. Let's see. If I have anything, any pressure there now. Negative. Why not? Fuel pump's working. I have no pressure. What in the fudge packers? She got a heck of a gallop. still has no fuel at the Schrader valve. There should be pressure there. There's not. Why not? All right, I'm back after being extremely frustrated with this Jeep. I was not getting any pressure in the rail. I was getting fuel in and fuel out, but no pressure. So I pulled the fuel rail that was on the motor when I put it in and replaced it with the one that actually came off this motor, and I swapped the throttle body out, and I've got fuel pressure again. Played with the timing a bit. Again, even though they're not adjustable, the new distributor they put in there was they broke it. Broke the tab because I don't think they are adjustable, but I think running. So now I just got to go get a temperature sensor. We're back there, get that changed. Pick up a few more fittings so I can get these to seal off good. Hook up another radiator hose, get the electric fan in here, get the fan shroud in here, get all this up here done. So I've got all this to go back in, that to go back in. I can't remember where that goes. Then I got those to put back in, add some antifreeze to it, and do the drive shafts and see if I can't at least get the exhaust quiet, get a pipe in there. So I call that a win. As I said, I got to get a U-joint, get temperature sensor, hook these up, get all back together. As I said, I call this a win. Right now, I have to pick up another battery for it, but I was getting extremely frustrated with this beast. But I got it. So I'm happy. I'll be happier. When I can drive it. I still have to put clips on the injectors, get those clips back in so it'll hold it in place. I got to get the hold down for the throttle cable, so that'll get held down. That tab goes right there. I think I'll run after I get antifreeze in it and tighten the distributor down and get the rest of the fan shroud and all that on there. I think I'll run it for a little while and probably drop the oil and filter and put a new filter and oil in it, and then I'll see if she moves. Well, maybe I'll plate it and drive it. I don't know. We'll see. So with that, I am at lunchtime. I'm gonna go get something to eat and I'll be back after a little bit. All right, we're back on the Jeep. Got everything put back together. I still have to get a air filter for it. Then I'll finish tightening all this down. I have to pick up a different battery. This one's too big. All right, who's calling? I'll call him back. So, it is almost ready to throw it up for sale. I don't plan on keeping it. So with that, let me fire it up, do a walk around with it fired up. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got some exhaust leaks still. run. All the lights are working. Brakes are working. It just feels odd to be in the right side. Windows are all working. Headlight. I need some bulbs and markers. Tail lights. Signal. That should be working. Check these wiper blades. Heat is working. Horn works. Tilt works. Brake lights are working. So it does move. That's a plus. I have a little bit of a transmission loop down here somewhere. But there you got it. One right-hand drive 1995 Cherokee, they call it XJ, is up and moving for the first time that I've had it, and that's 2 years. So I'm not sure how long it sat before that. She looks a little beat up, but she is an extremely rust-free vehicle. It's got 2 spots on the floorboards. When it was up in the air, I could see where it needed to be patched. It does need a little bit of work, but for what it is, I think I'll throw it up on face space for 35 and go from there. So again, we'll do one more start with it real quick. Here we go. It's done. It's up and running. Now I can get it out of my garage. I think I might even change it, do another oil change on it, but oh, I'm gonna get it out of the garage here. Let me find my jacket. And I'll take you for a ride out of the garage. How's that? I said I need to pick up another battery for it. Go. Let's get it out of the garage. All right. Bing, 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 bing. There we go. Definitely different. Definitely different. Speedometer. And oil pressure. And battery. Bike gauge is working. we go. That's it. I'll work on that later. All right, I'm done. It runs, it drives, it shifts. Call that a win. So with that, I'm Dennis Baum, D-Bomb's Garage. Leave a comment, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Thanks for checking it out. Later all.